This market is plummeting right now, and I'm actually in a trade catching this, and I'm already up over $1,000. This account started at about $5,000, but if you want to start even smaller, you can. Now I'm going to walk you through some day trades that I took to give you a grasp of the strategy that I use to make these gains. And so this trade right here, I'm looking to take a reversal off of this resistance zone up here. My signals to get in is seeing that the market has tested this zone essentially twice, and then it gives a nice big bear bar. And so I got in right here based on that. And then I just bet that the market's going to go lower. And I like to put my stop above the swing high here, because then that protects my trade with the actual price movement of the market. Once it gets to about here, I like to move my stop to break even, because, you know, for some reason, if the market decides to just shoot up all of a sudden, I can get out and I have no risk on the trade at this point. Anything I capture is essentially free money at this point. And so I'm already up $500 on this trade, and we actually have a really nice downtrend line here. And so I'm going to use that as my management strategy. And so once it breaks that, I want to trail up my stop really tight with the idea that, hey, you know, if this downtrend breaks, it's probably going to reverse on me. And so we have a slight break here. And so I'm going to move my stop loss down to there. And so at that point, we're already capturing about 2 times my risk on this trade. So this is already a really nice trade going. And so with this making another pullback, it looks like it might start to break here, and we're going to get knocked out of the trade, making about $550 in profit. And so jumping right into the next trade, you can see this is very repeatable. This trade looks almost exactly the same as the last trade. We have a resistance level up here. We have this uptrend that has been broken by the market, and then the market's retested this area multiple times, and it's produced some nice big bearish bars for you to jump in on. And so I like to get in either here on the close of that bar or the close of this bar, and then put my stop above the high, because again, I like to be protected by that swing high. And then once the market punches lower, I want to move my stop to break even, because then I can't lose any money on the trade, and I like to just let things play out at that point. Here on this one, you can see we have an actual support level down here. So I want to pay attention to potentially getting out or tightening up my stop once we get down there. So once this gets moving really quickly now towards that level, I do want to start moving my stop and trailing it really tight, because I don't want the market to potentially do this on me, and I don't want to lose my profits. And so closing up this trade right here at about $450 is another really nice trade. Now, those weren't even the biggest trades I took. The biggest one I got over $1,300 in profit on. Now, I want to quickly walk you through what my overall basic strategy is. Now, I'm trading the MES futures on a 1-minute chart. Now, this allows me to day trade, avoiding the pattern day trading rule, just because that's the rules around futures. You can trade with $1,000 in your account, and you can make as many day trades as you want. Now, all I look for is high reward, low risk trades. And those are generally counter trend reversal trades. So all you'll see me take is I will take trades off of support and resistance levels. And all I look at is I read the candlesticks of the chart. I don't have any indicators. And so these support and resistance levels, I actually draw off of a 15-minute chart. And so all I do is, this is just a 15-minute chart, the same type of chart. And I just look at where the market bounces. These are large bounces. And so if it makes some bounces here that are very clear, I say, okay, that is a support zone that I want to potentially trade off of. And so when it comes back and tests that area again, I look to buy and potentially capture a big trade off of. And when I look to buy, I go back to the 1-minute chart and actually take a trade from that. And so this trade right here is the trade I was talking about. And if I just quickly reverse to the beginning to show you what that looked like, is again, I was going off a resistance level, and then there was a nice trend that was broken. And then I got in off of this big bearish bar here that was showing me good strength of the market going lower. And so from that point, again, like my other trades, I just put my stop above the high here and wait for things to play out. The market had a little bit of a sell-off here, and so that's when I moved my stop to break even. And then as it started to chop in this area, it started to look very, very bearish. And we had a very strong move up in the morning. And from that, it's possible that when you do get a reversal, you give that back up. And so once it kicks lower here, I move my stop above this little swing we had here. And then you can see the market just starts to rip down. And so this is why I really like having or not having a profit target, is because it opens the doors to have these moves happen in your favor. And once this thing gets going, I just trail my stop up every previous candle, because when the market rips down this fast, it can actually rip back up against you. And I don't want to have that happen, right? And so every minute that a candle is formed, I'm just moving my stop down with these levels. I don't really have a profit target I'm going for here, because the market is just moving so quickly in my favor. And so that trade closes up for about $1,300, and that is a massive win. But don't feel like you need to hit home runs to actually be profitable trading. Small, consistent wins is really what makes you profitable in the long run. This trade right here is a great example of the same strategy, just going from the long side. You can see I have a support level down here, and all I'm doing is the same strategy over and over again. That's how repeatable this is. I have a downtrend that's broken. It's tested my level once here and then twice. And then we have a really nice bullish bar here that you can get in on. And so I get in the trade right here on that, put my stop below the swing low here, because again, I like to protect based on that. And then I just let the market play out and give it some time to work. And so it's moved up in my favor already a decent amount here. And then it has this little pullback and pushes back up. And so that's when I move my stop to essentially break even, but I actually move it below this little swing low we had, because I want to go with the swings, right? The market looks like it's now in this uptrend right here. And so I want to keep going with that. And if it actually breaks that here, I just want to get out at break even and move on to the next trade. Not every trade is going to work, and you can't just hope that the market works out every time. Go with what the market's telling you. And right here, the market's telling me, okay, this isn't a great spot, I want to get out. But if we skip a little bit further in the day, this you can see is where we just had that trade that got knocked out. And then we just come down to another support level. And again, rinse and repeat the strategy. We have a downtrend that's broken. We've tested this level, and then we've kind of chopped around a little bit here, and we've made a really nice bull bar. And so I like that as a long signal. I want to get in right here based on that, and then of course put my stop below that swing low, because that's where the market found its final support before moving up. And if we skip forwards a little bit here, the market almost knocks me out. It literally misses my stop by one tick, and that is because it made a double bottom here. It held that price level, and that is why I like to use those levels as support. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it is very satisfying, because this ends up turning into a really good winner that we were able to really make a nice profit from. Once this is moved up, I of course want to move my stop above or below this swing low, because again, we're moving up with the stops. And then once we have, you can see the market starts to really accelerate here, just like that really big trade. Once it starts to accelerate, I want to move my stop up, because the market in these situations can get really overextended and then of course pull back on me, and I don't want to lose a lot of profits. Of course, I want to give it some room, because this could be really bullish. It could be, you know, chop here and then break even higher, and I want to give it some room to do that. So I don't want to just get out of the trade, but I do want to trail up my stop a lot here. And so eventually here, the market does end up knocking me out, which is totally okay. That was a really nice win of $350 on that trade. And that puts me up over $2,600 over these trades. And these trades I took over a couple weeks. And so these trades have been really good for my trading account. It's putting me up almost 80% on the year. Of course, you don't always constantly win like this. You can see I do have periods where I am losing money, but overall, my account is slowly going up, and that is what you want when it comes to trading. I am winning more money than I'm losing. So if you want to see more trades like this, definitely check out this other video right here.